Hey guys, we're the Trayblock Podcast, and today we're going to talk about the NBA Finals, and then we're going to start talking about the NFL. We're in between week 5 and 6, so should be some interesting things, but let's get into the Heat and the Lakers.
All right. So before we start talking anymore, we're switching. I don't really know what the posting dates are going to be right now. We're kind of at a confusing point because school's been getting pretty crazy and NFL scheduling is flipping all over the place, and we're getting games throughout the week. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, yeah, as of recording this, the NBA Finals, Game 6 is going to be going on tonight. And I think at this point, I think it's just cool that we're getting another finals game. Like going into the series, I don't think anyone thought the Heat were going to win. Like the Heat are the definition of underdogs, and they have been throughout pretty much the entire playoffs outside of maybe the first round.
No, they were still seated lower than Indiana.
I know.
I mean, everyone had them
crazy.
winning it, but
Yeah. But Jimmy Butler has been arguably the best player in the finals, at least in my opinion. I think that he's been the most impressive player in the finals. And I really want to see a Game 7. Not even, like, obviously I'm a Heat fan, so I want them to win it. But I just want to see, because after this, we're not going to get any more NBA for a little while. And watching these games have probably been some of the best games throughout the entire playoffs. And having a Game 7 to close out this bubble would be a really, really exciting thing to see, regardless of the winner.
Yeah, I mean, that Game 5 may have been the best bubble game yet. And it was a really, really fun game to watch the whole way throughout. It was a really good ending. I mean, Jimmy Butler played out of his mind, okay? And he, regardless of the outcome of the series, he does have a case for Finals MVP. But the biggest takeaway from this series is the Heat are going to be contenders for a long time to come because not only are they good this year, they have a young core. We're just going to keep developing. Like Tyler Hero, he's a rookie. He's going to keep getting better and better and better. Bam Adebayo still developing, Duncan Robinson. And then they have veterans who really, really have been super useful this year. Jay Crowder, Andre Iguodala. And it's their culture. It really is. Their culture, their coach. I mean, everything about them is just trending upwards. No matter how the series ends up, they are going to be set for a long time to come. And I mean, I hope the Heat force a Game 7 just for basketball's sake. I don't see it happening. But then again, I always say like, it's over. The Lakers have got this. And then the other team, the Heat, and previously the Nuggets, have always proven me wrong. So we'll see what happens.
I just like to say that I said Lakers in 6 before this all started, and I think that's going to hold true. I have the Lakers winning it tonight. But this has been a very impressive series by the Heat. I want to talk about why I think Jimmy won't beat Finals MVP and why I don't think he's been the best player in the series. I think it's been LeBron. And then Anthony Davis second, and then Jimmy. Or no, I put Jimmy second. But if you switch LeBron and Jimmy, LeBron would have, I think, arguably better stats than Jimmy Butler if he was on the Heat. Because Jimmy's kind of been thrust into that role. With no Dragic. Dragic was their best scorer, right? So now Jimmy's the best scorer. They had no Bam for the first 3 games. Bam was their best rebounder. So now Jimmy's their best rebounder. And Jimmy's their best passer. So I think he's, because of unfortunate circumstances, he's kind of been forced to step up and accept, a larger share, which he's done, like, phenomenally. Resting for only 48 seconds in a finals game, absolutely impressive. But if the Lakers win this series, I think it should no doubt go to either LeBron or Anthony Davis. I think LeBron has the advantage just because of that throwback performance he gave in Game 5. It was absolutely amazing to watch. And Anthony Davis has been kind of cold these last 2 games. But, we don't know what's going to happen. But I think if the Lakers win it, it's going to a Laker for sure.
Yeah, for a while, the NBA gives the MVP to the best player on the best team. Maybe not necessarily the best player for like the respective team. When you talk about MVP, I think what it should be about is like if that player wasn't on that team, they wouldn't be where they are. And when I look at the Heat and I look at Jimmy Butler, the Heat, this would be the Heat wouldn't even be here right now. Whereas if I look at like Anthony Davis, I think the Lakers are still there. They have another top player. As for LeBron, I think they need LeBron. That's why I think LeBron and Jimmy are so close in this like MVP race. If the Lakers win, though, I feel like I still want to give it to Jimmy Butler just because 47 minutes, like playing a finals game against the Lakers, you're guarding LeBron. You have a triple double. You have so many rebounds. You're passing. You're guarding like everybody. That's just an MVP performance right there. And I mean, you need to reward Jimmy somehow because his whole career, and this is the farthest he's made it. Every team that he's been on, you know, he has this Jimmy Butler effect, and I think that he needs some recognition for that.
Yeah, I totally agree. This Jimmy Butler reminds me a lot of the LeBron in his last year in Cleveland when he had to go up against Golden State with KD and Clay and Steph and Draymond, and it was pretty much just him. Was Kevin Love playing in that series?
No.
No,
I don't think so.
I didn't think so.
No, but absolutely, that's a great comparison.
I think if Henny Jr. doesn't kind of throw the game away in that at the end of that fourth quarter, taking a game off that Warriors team, I think we could have seen a different series. I think that series could have gone 6. That I don't think that the Cavs would have been able to pull that out. But you know, people are honestly comparing Jimmy to Kobe in the idea of this mentality that he has. And I think that he totally has shown flashes of Kobe Bryant. From a scoring perspective, we haven't seen anything like this from him. I mean, the fact that he scored 40 points in Game 3 is something unheard of for Jimmy Butler. And as you said, 47 minutes playing against that Lakers team, which, hey, I don't like the construction of the Lakers team. I feel like it's just a bunch of one-year rentals as their supporting cast, which it kind of is, you know, surrounded by those 2 superstars. Regardless, they know what they're doing. Like, Rondo is a veteran, and they're great. But Jimmy Butler has taken this young team with no experience, and to be where they are right now, I completely agree that I think that definitely there needs to be some recognition, whether that's through Finals MVP or not. I don't know how they would do it, but something, maybe bubble MVP or something. You know, if they actually do those awards, I think I could totally see Jimmy getting some recognition for what he's done this season.
It's interesting. I think he has a good argument, but like, if we agree that Braun was the best player in that 2018 series, right? And I mean, 51, 8, and 8, and they still get swept, right? And he doesn't get the Finals MVP then. Can we argue that Jimmy Butler can get the Finals MVP now? It is different circumstances. They've won 2 games already, and they're still fighting for hopefully a third and a fourth. So maybe there is an argument there. I don't know. I think it's probably going to go to one of the 2 Laker guys. And while Braun has been playing amazingly, the only reason I personally would maybe consider giving it to AD is because of his defense. His defensive impact is, I mean, much greater than Braun's, okay? And, I mean, he's been tasked with guarding Jimmy Butler the majority of the possessions. And, of course, true, Jimmy Butler is still getting his, but he's at least wearing him down and doing his best on a guy who's, like, basically been playing like he's unguardable this series. And I mean, I wouldn't be mad if either Braun or even Jimmy gets the MVP. But I'm just saying AD deserves some recognition too for how well he's been playing this series, especially if he is injured. I mean, he has been like worn down throughout this entire series, and he's still been putting up buckets. And I think he definitely deserves some recognition for that too.
AD's been great. AD's been phenomenal. I think he's been their best player for the first 3 rounds. Like, their whole trip through the West, AD was definitely that dude on the Lakers. But his Game 3 performance, and then I think Game 5 too, he definitely underperformed significantly. And I think LeBron has been as good as we expected. And then Game 5, he was beyond. You know, it was unreal. I want to get back to Benji's comparison of Jimmy to 2018 LeBron. I'd say like that's a fair comparison, but I think LeBron was even better that year because if you remember what LeBron did against that Warriors team, he put up 51, 8, and 8 in game 1, and he did it with arguably a worse team than Jimmy has right now. You know, he had J.R. Smith, Rodney Hood, Tristan Thompson. Like that supporting cast does not compare to Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Bam. You know, absolutely not. I think Jimmy has already gotten all the recognition he needs. I think all of NBA Twitter, the entire NBA community, and even the Heat know that he's, you know, that dude. And I think he has all the praise he needs. I'd like to see him get an award. I don't think a Finals MVP is that award that's fitting for him, but he definitely has some trophies coming his way in the near future.
I guess I kind of want to talk, just one last thing. I want to talk about the Heat in general, because I mentioned this a few episodes ago, but they're very much like a fire, where if they're stoked, they go really, really high, and sometimes they have really bad performance.
Was that a medical analogy?
Well, in terms of medical, you know, we can talk about how I predicted Bam to come back and play, and he did. So, you know.
He did do that. He did do that.
You know, we can talk about that. But I want to talk about how this Heat team, it can be like a bonfire. You know, you have Spo to the side, blowing air on it and making it huge. He's figured out how to defensively stop the Lakers almost. And I think that we also have to give a lot of credit to Coach Spo because, man, you know, he's doing his job and he's doing his job well.
Where would you guys rank him first? Where did you guys rank him out of all the coaches in the NBA?
Top 5.
Top 5.
I can say top 5 with confidence. Yeah.
I'd say top 3 even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick
Nurse is definitely up there.
Nick
Nurse,
Nurse, yeah.
Too.
I would put
Wait,
Spoelstra
all
over
time or
Nurse.
right now?
Right now, currently.
Oh, top 3 for sure.
Yeah.
Nurse, Pop, and him.
I would put Eric
I'd put
as
Spo over Nurse.
2. Yeah, because I
Yeah,
think the
I'd put
resume
number
just
2.
speaks more volumes.
Okay.
I mean, all those guys have won championships, and I think they're all proven they're going to be in the NBA for the rest of their careers, and that could be, besides Pop, because he's already been there, done that. But Nurse and Spoelstra are going to be here for another at least 15, 20 years, regardless of where they're coaching. One more thing I want to add, is we haven't talked about Danny Green at all,
Oh
which
my
is
God.
fine. Which is fine, but I thought we should bring it up.
I wouldn't even be talking about the Heat like this if Danny Green had just hit that shot, to be honest. This would be over. It was Lakers in 5. That's what, a lot of people thought it was going to be. And that's what it probably should have been if they had a competent shooter. Talk about Danny Green, it's kind of his job to hit threes.
Okay.
Especially wide open threes, and he didn't do it. There was four people on LeBron, and he didn't hit the open three.
Do you guys think Braun should have passed it or should have taken the shot?
This is the debate.
Of course you pass. Of course you pass.
You have to pass.
I agree.
That's the play. That's the
Yeah,
play.
I
sure.
agree.
You
And
have to
people
pass.
keep saying, MJ wouldn't have done that. MJ
He
would have
did-
shot it
MJ
over.
MJ
Who
has
cares?
definitely
Jesus Christ himself. No, MJ didn't. He
MJ
passed
has
it to Bill
passed. That is
Paxson.
true.
He
Yeah,
passed it
he
to
passed-
Steve Kerr.
Exactly.
You
That
pass
is the right
those.
play.
You
And
passed
you-
the ball. Braun had
Us-
4.5 guys on him.
You
You
know,
passed the ball to wide open Danny Green. But I want to talk about someone who sold even further for the Lakers than Danny
Mhm.
Green, and that's Markieff Morris.
Oh,
Marquise
100%.
Morris. Okay, thank
100%.
goodness. Thank
How do
goodness.
you do that?
Thank goodness. Where
Braun
was he
is
throwing
open,
that ball?
AD
Where
is
was he throwing
open.
that ball?
You can shoot it, for Christ's sake.
How do you miss a
And he throws
7-foot
a
center in the
little
paint?
lob out of
How do you
bounds.
miss a 7-foot center in the paint when you're throwing the ball? How does that happen?
Well, he was
That
being
was a
held.
bad
AD
pass.
was being held, but that was a horrible pass.
That was terrible.
Do you guys think AD should be suspended right now for what he did to Jay?
Oh, that's an interesting.
I think
He
he should
did
be fine.
elbow him, man.
I
I
don't know
don't
about
yeah.
suspended
I don't know
elbow.
about
It's
suspended.
more
The
of a
NBA
smack,
totally
man.
won't
If it was an
suspend him.
elbow, we would not be seeing Anthony Davis.
They're
right
too
now.
soft. It's too soft. That's a foul. Give him
Let
a
him
few
play.
shots.
Let him
You're
play.
a doctor, Riley.
Yeah, but it's you sign up for that. You sign the waiver, whatever. It's done. Call it a foul.
Sign away. What is
The
this?
waiver.
Is this on
I'm
the
the
wall?
legal. I'm the
Yeah.
legal of this podcast team.
No.
No waivers were signed.
You sign a waiver when you join an NBA team.
You absolutely do not.
You waive all your human rights when you.
You
sign an NBA team.
100% do.
This
not.
is a fact. Trust me, because I've been right about.
There's an assumption of risk.
things.
If you get seriously injured, you can't sue the other guy. But that was definitely not legal. So
By the way, we're not
Yeah.
endorsing hate of either Danny Green or Markieff Morris. Don't
I
take it
am-
like too
No,
far.
I've been seeing
Like the
death threats.
slander.
They've been getting
slander's
death
funny.
threats.
Yeah, but
That's
insane.
horrible. That's
insane.
beyond-
That
that's
is
horrible.
absolutely insane.
I think
So
I think
bad.
Danny Green, I don't think he did that bad. Like, you know, like
He
he's
missed a
obviously
shot.
been
I mean,
bad in the
everyone's
season.
gonna miss
He
shots.
misses a
Even
shot.
shooters
He was
make
He was
open.
missing shots all game. You know,
True.
look,
But you
an
know what?
argument.
The
Look.
pressure of the moment is just too big for some guys.
Look, an
Alright?
argument for why it was a bad play by LeBron is not that you don't pass it to a shooter; it's that he was
That you
passing
pass
to Danny
Green.
Green.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
all right.
but if I'm LeBron in that situation, I don't care who's there. He's wide open. He's on the line.
I don't care if it's
It's
Dwight Howard.
understandable.
You're making that
It's
Exactly. If
understandable.
it
You
was
missed a
Dwight, I still would have passed it because then
Honestly,
KCP's
it's just
open in
an
the
open
corner
shooter.
too.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. KCP
Also,
was open.
Someone shared a clip on Instagram. It was 100-103 in the Mavs game, right? 5 seconds left. Bron's driving. Kicks it out to Danny Green.
Kicks out to Danny Green. He ties
Buzzer
it, and
beating
they
the
won
tie.
it in overtime.
Yep.
I remember
So,
that.
Some shots
saying,
just don't
just saying.
fall.
Yeah, they
And
just
that's
don't
what
fall.
it
And
is.
you know
can't
what?
make 'em all.
He was
You know what
he
you
was
can
wide
do?
open.
You cannot miss AD on an easy pass.
Exactly.
That's what you can do.
He was wide open, but someone closed out on him near the end of his shot. I think it was
Nah,
Skater,
okay,
maybe.
that's a little. That's a bit.
It wasn't
I think
really
it's
like that.
understandable.
I think
He missed the shot. I don't think the Markieff Morris thing is understandable at all. I don't think there's any justification for that.
No, you literally had 3 open people. You could have passed it to KCP, Danny Green again, or LeBron, who was on the 3-point line wide open, and you
He could have
Throw
shot
it out
it.
of bounds.
He was open.
exactly.
Shot it too. Yeah.
He was a little floater. Like
Or if you make a competent pass, AD gets fouled, like 100%.
True.
right.
But
Whoever
you
was guarding him
overthrow
was literally like
Yeah.
bare hugging.
Yep. There's an 80%
That's why I
chance
thought
that you
we
make the right
might
play.
have seen a foul call on that. If the pass hits AD, we might have seen a foul call.
Yeah,
But
I
no,
think
I
that
don't
might
even
be
know
what
what we
it
saw. I thought he was shooting it for a second and he just airballed.
No, that was definitely not a shot.
Uh,
Anyway, I think we talked a lot about the NBA. I think that we should move on to the NFL and brush over some of the things that are happening in Week 5 right now. And I know that one of the games that we really want to talk about, because we have some passionate Raiders fans here, is the Raiders Chiefs game.
Yes, sir.
And I think
And
Jake can take it away right now.
Who picks the Raiders? This is crazy. This is blasphemy. This is absolute blasphemy. Who would pick the Las Vegas Raiders to beat the Kansas City Chiefs? Let's see. What did I say?
No, don't pull up the text.
No.
Don't pull up the receipts.
At 12:56 p.m. What did I
Don't
say?
pull
I
up the
picked the Las
receipts.
Vegas Raiders to upset the Chiefs. 3 hours later, what happens? 40-32. The Raiders win. You know
Right.
why? Because the Raiders are legit. They are very legit. They held in reality, like the Chiefs scored some garbage time points, but in reality, they held them to about 24 points this game, which is very, very good. Okay, that's very good for any defense. Okay, the Chiefs, the Raiders, like we know they have a really good offense. It's their defense that's like a little bit. Can they hold up? Can they hold up enough to where Derek Carr can make plays and stuff? And yes, they did. That's exactly what they did today. I'm not gonna say they're winning the division because I don't think they are. But I'm just saying I think at this point, if they don't make the wildcard spot, I would be very shocked. I think they will definitely make the wildcard spot, and they might. We'll see what happens in the playoffs. Let's just say we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, I'm with Jake on this one. I didn't pick the Raiders to be the Chiefs, but
Fake.
I'm 1,000%.
Fake Raiders fan. Fake Raiders
I am
fan.
1,000,000% behind them getting a wild card spot. Maybe it doesn't even have to be the 7th spot. Honestly, they've been playing great, and I 1,000,000% think that this was a huge win for them. It shows that the offense is legit. We've known that for a while, but it shows that like maybe if they don't play, I don't know, like the Saints defense or the Panthers or something, like they can still win it. And it shows that the defense can shorten the field for Derek Carr, and they can stand up to one of the best QBs we've seen in a while, and a very high-powered offense. I mean, there were at least 3 plays where I was like, that was a great coverage by the Raiders. That had almost pick 6. I mean, it was absolutely great to watch. I think it was a huge victory. I think it was a huge moral victory. And even if, like, I think the Chiefs, their next meeting with the Raiders, I think they're absolutely going to destroy the Raiders. But I mean, they split the series with Kansas City. I think they're going to sweep the Broncos and the Chargers. I don't know, big win. We could see the Raiders on upset watch in the playoffs.
I want to take this opportunity to personally congratulate John Gruden. John Gruden is often underrated as a coach, and I think that he did a tremendous job shutting down Patrick Mahomes. And I think that you can also credit that to Bill Belichick pretty much exposing the Chiefs' scheme for what it is. And,
Didn't they just beat the Patriots?
well, there's a lot of reasons if Cam Newton was playing, it would be an easy Patriots.
Okay,
No,
we don't have to get into.
all
We don't have
right.
to get into.
I don't know
we
about
don't have
easy.
Okay.
We don't have to get. You don't have to get into
This
that.
is-
Everyone agrees, but we don't have to get into that.
right.
But look, this is why you don't pay someone $500 million. There's just no point. There's no reason.
the-
to do
I hate this
There's
take.
no reason
Oh
to
I
do
hate
this.
this.
Okay.
I hate
There's
that.
no
Listen,
reason to
My
pay.
point of backing the Raiders was not to slander Mahomes. Okay.
I'm
Mahomes is an
taking
amazing
this opportunity.
quarterback.
Yes. Well, Patrick Mahomes is the second best quarterback in the league right now.
First.
No, he's the best.
You
He might go down as the GOAT.
whatever, man. I don't care. I think
Whatever, man.
What did he
Quarter-
do?
Whatever,
What did he do that was
man.
so
He's not
atrocious
that
this week? He
good.
threw a
Look.
pick. Like,
Look, he did throw a pick.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
what? He's
no.
human. It was his first pick of the
No.
season.
Russell
Look.
Wilson threw a pick last week. Like, what do you have to say
Yeah.
about that?
Yes,
And
but
against a very
Yes.
bad Patriots defense.
can I? Okay, let me just look. It's not that Patrick Mahomes is bad. He's still, well, fine. He's the best quarterback in the league. But $500 million.
You're just jealous.
For-
You want $500 million.
He
That's-
is not the reason that the Chiefs are winning games. It's the entire offense. And I just hate to see people on sports shows and people talking about quarterbacks like they are the team when they're just not. And I think we have to, like you guys are talking about the Raiders defense. They totally showed up. Let's talk about the Raiders defense. Like, great. Like, I don't want to talk about Derek Carr because I don't think he was the reason that they won the
So
Super
you think that the Panthers' offense is better than the Raiders'
I-
offense?
I
you want to
do-
talk about
I-
that? Or should we break
I
that
Go
down?
ahead.
look.
Go ahead.
Look, fine. All
You
right.
have to address it.
Let's talk about the Panthers offense. The Panthers lost CMC. People were like, all right, they're done. That's like their only weapon. That's like the only
No,
thing they
we
have.
said they were done before the season started.
Okay, and they're like, all right, well, here we are. The Panthers are 3-2. They've beaten the Cardinals, and they've beaten who did they just beat today?
They played the Falcons.
Who are
All
0-5.
right, whatever. They beat the Falcons. Who
Who are
sucks.
So
bad.
two very
They're a
bad
bad football
teams.
team.
But
Like,
look,
really
look.
Two
bad.
very bad teams. Two very
But
bad
look,
teams.
I still think
Benji didn't catch that. Benji did not catch
We
that.
have-
He was too busy watching the Dolphins game.
we have Teddy.
Yeah.
We have Teddy
I'll get to that in a
Bridgewater.
sec.
Teddy Bridgewater, who's a solid quarterback, and then really good wide receivers. Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore. You can even talk about Curtis
Samuel.
Yeah, you can even talk about
Mhm.
Curtis Samuel. And then
What do you
CMC
mean
comes
talk
back.
about? Like he was
Mike
he led,
Davis.
He was top 5 in yards last year. What do you mean talk about Curtis Samuel?
Top,
Wait, what?
He was not top
Wait,
five.
wait,
Or,
wait,
or
wait.
2 years ago. Or 2 years ago. I don't know. I remember him being top 5 in receiving yards
Look,
at one point.
these are, and this is like the Dallas. This is like a Dallas team. This is like a downgraded Dallas team. They have a worse offense and a worse defense. And
No,
Yeah.
bro. No defense is worse than Dallas. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's not.
Honestly.
that's all I have to say about it. You guys talk about it.
Dude, I don't even know what
I
Riley
will
was
personally
talking about.
slander you.
Like, I don't get it. I'm not. I
Derek
wasn't even
Carr,
listening
I
half of the
I
time.
don't like Derek Carr.
Listen,
You-
I'm not going to
you're
talk
just a
about
hater.
Riley slander.
I
just
don't
want-
think Derek Carr likes you, honestly.
Fine. Then
Yeah.
he can see me. Then he can see me.
See me
would
outside? You want to see you
absolutely
outside?
I'm here. And
He
I'm
would
here.
absolutely whoop
I'm
you,
here.
Riley.
I'm here. I've seen him run. I think I could take him. All right.
Don't let a
God.
Gilmore jersey like inflate your ego. Derek
Yeah.
Carr would absolutely put you in the ground.
When I wear this, I am the embodiment of Stephon Gilmore.
You're getting smoked.
You're
by
getting so you're
DK
getting
and
burnt by DK
Devontae.
Metcalf?
Oh my god.
Okay. I don't know what Riley just said, and I don't really care, to be honest, because I think that all of it's dumb. So, I'm going to go back and talk about the Raiders for a second, all right? And I never discredited the offense. I'll say that. I thought that their offense was a top 10 offense going into the year. All of their pieces are really solid. They have a really good line. I just think that they need to win shootouts like these in order to make it to the playoffs. And I think when any team gets into a situation like this, where neither defense is performing, it's truly a 50-50. And since the Raiders are going to end up playing so many games like these throughout the season, I think that they're probably going to split or maybe lose a little bit more. And I will say that I do think that there's teams that are better than them. I think the Browns and the Steelers are both better than them. And I think that the Colts and the Titans are both better than them. So I think that those teams right now are still the teams who I think are going to make the playoffs. I could totally see the Raiders being 9-7 and being the nine seed.
7 seed.
I just think
7?
because what?
Wait, do you mean 7 seed? Like third wild card?
Oh no, I meant 8. I meant 8. Like just missing out.
Oh, like just missing. Okay.
Like they could totally make the playoffs. I just think that they're going to see defenses in the upcoming schedules that are going to stop them and hold them to like 20 points. And if that happens, then I think that they could go 8-8, lose some of those games, and just miss out on the playoffs. But the Raiders are still a good team. I don't want to discredit them at all. What they did today, really impressive. However, right now, I do want to talk about the Dolphins for a sec. As of recording this, the Dolphins are up 30-7 on the Niners, and Jimmy Garoppolo has been benched for C.J. Beathard.
Can I just put a little asterisk in there?
Are you serious?
CJ Beathard's going in the game. Like
CJ Beathard.
it's not over
Okay,
until
okay.
CJ Beathard is done slanging the football all around the field. All right.
Okay.
If he chooses where to put the football, it's going there. All right.
Yeah, he's 0 for 3 right now for 0 yards.
He is over 3. He is
I-
over 3 right now.
I'm not.
I
taking
agree.
game stats.
I agree. No,
Uh,
I don't know. I think this is just the Dolphins.
I think this is the start of the turnaround.
I
This is the start
like
of the turnaround for the
okay.
Dolphins. They're gonna make
Call
the
me a
playoffs
biased fan, but this reminds me exactly of the 2016 team that made the playoffs at 10-6. They started off
Yeah.
1-3, and then they caught absolute fire in the midseason.
Yeah.
They went on the West Coast. Keep in mind, they were playing the NFC West during that year. They beat the Rams, I don't know who else they beat exactly, but the schedule very similar. This team, very similar. That 2016 team was not good. I mean, you had Matt Moore playing.
Yeah, I remember
You
that.
had Matt Moore playing at quarterback after Tannehill, who was having a great year, tore his ACL, and, that whole injury thing happened. And that team did not have a lot of defensive players. I mean, you had, like, Ndamukong Suh and Cam Wake, who at the time were good. Outside of that, really not impressive. And I think that this Dolphins team is a lot like that. I think that they kind of have a chip on their shoulder this year. And Brian Flores is a good head coach. I think that he's really good at leading a team. Ryan Fitzpatrick is an incredible coach. Not a coach, a quarterback.
Coach.
Sorry, my bad. I was on a roll. And also, as I say that, I think CJ
Fernandez
Beathard
scored a
just
touchdown?
threw a touchdown. Yeah. But, hey, you know what? He puts the ball wherever he wants it. So, Andres was just kind of right. But I think as of right now, obviously I'm biased, but out of all the teams that we haven't talked about, besides division leaders and the teams that we mentioned beforehand, I think that the Dolphins could sneak in as a 7 seed if there were to be a dark horse this year. That would be my pick. Now, I'm not saying that that's possible, but
To your point, the next 4 games: Broncos, Chargers, Rams, Cardinals. That's at least, you could say, 3 very winnable games there.
well,
The
they're playing the Jets next week now, actually.
Oh, they switched up the schedule, didn't they?
Mhm.
Yeah, so if they win this
okay.
game, they go into a bye
To a
week
bye week
against the Rams. Yeah. But then they play the Rams at home. That could mean something. If they win this week, next week, and they take advantage of the bye week, they're 4-3. And I think that puts them in a solid spot.
I don't think they're making the playoffs. I think the
No.
AFC wildcard spots are all extremely contested. I think they would have to literally rattle. Like, I think they'd have to win, like, 11 games. Like, probably one of the greatest stories ever. I don't think it's going to happen. But I like the way the team is playing a lot.
Yeah. No, I think, well, honestly, like looking at their schedule right now, I think they could beat the Jets twice, beat the Chargers at home, beat the Broncos and the Bengals, and that's 5 wins. And then if
A
you
bye
take
week against the Patriots.
yeah,
True.
exactly.
True.
Patriots at home, I mean, hey, it's going to happen a lot.
Who on the
This
Patriots
is what
can
happened
guard
last year.
Devontae Parker?
Who can guard Mike Gesicki?
What,
Who can guard
JC
Preston
Jackson? Are they
Williams?
gonna throw
Who
him
can
at him?
guard Miles Gaskin? There's no
Who are
one.
they going to
Who's
throw?
on the defense? Who's on the Patriots
Gilmore
defense?
and
Do the Patriots even
Devontae
have a
Parker?
defense? Do the Patriots even have a defense?
I don't know.
I will tell you this
they all
about tight
sat
ends.
out due to
You know,
COVID.
I will say this with Mike Gesicki. The Patriots played the Raiders and the Chiefs, and they shut down Waller and Kelsey. Bill knows how to cover tight ends. Gesicki's out of the game.
Does Bill know how to get Gilmore to cover Devontae Parker?
You
Because
know,
Devontae Parker
this
absolutely
is
put him on
this is
skates
a
last year.
family-friendly podcast, so let's keep it that way. Okay. No, I think the Dolphins are. I'm getting more and more impressed with their defense every game they play. It's enough to keep teams from not embarrassing them. I just have to look at the offense sometimes, and it looks kind of bad against some good defenses. Like we talk about how they have such an easy schedule, and even with like this pretty easy schedule, they still haven't been putting up great points. So I think that's where the problem is. In some shootouts, they're just not going to win. I think Brian Flores is a hell of a coach, but I don't think they have the talent, I think, to win.
Can we talk about the Browns for a second?
Yes.
The Browns have made a
Do it.
dramatic turnaround.
Facts.
They are 3-1, and I know the AFC North is stacked. I know this, right? The Ravens are probably
We could see 3 teams out of that AFC North.
Yes,
At this
we
point.
absolutely could. I like
yeah.
the Browns turnaround. Yeah.
Here's what I will say. I don't like when you say it's a comeback, because when people were like looking at the Browns, the Browns are already 0-1. Well, who are they playing? The Ravens. This is the
No. We're talking about comeback from last
but
year.
then we all
from last year.
and
Yeah.
they barely
from
they
like
barely
20 years
squeaked out a
past
win
that
against
before,
Burrow
Yeah,
and the
sure.
Bengals.
No.
So like they were 1-1, sure, like that's an okay record to be
It
at
wasn't very convincing.
entering week 3, but it wasn't it could have easily been 0-2.
No, I totally agree with you. I think it's mainly due to the coaching change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the
Stefanski's been great.
offense totally improved.
Yeah.
This running game is reminding me of the 49ers last year when they made their run.
True.
And the Ravens. Like, they're so dominant. Even with Nick Chubb out right now, Kareem Hunt scored a touchdown today. And
Dearness Johnson is a very good running back too.
yeah, I mean, there's so many players. There's so many targets on this offense and that was the main reason why teams thought that why people thought that the Browns were going to be good last year. There's so many weapons. And if Baker puts it together, which he's been playing well recently, and if he can kind of make sure that he feeds his weapons, make sure that he can spread out the secondary and the defense a little bit with his arms, that leads to a good running game, then I totally think that this is a playoff team.
I mean, I think they
Now-
found their real identity in running the ball. Like they arguably have 2 top 10 running backs in Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. I mean, it's arguable, but Kareem Hunt on the Chiefs was special, like really, really special. There's an argument to be made that he is a more talented running back than Nick Chubb. But I mean, both of them are fantastic. Dearness Johnson has shown he's a very solid running back too. I mean, if they continue to run the ball, then passing lanes will open, and then a wide array of weapons can get the ball from Baker Mayfield. I mean, if they go up 4-1 right now, and they're up 20-10 against the Colts right now, I think they have a very, very good shot at making it as a wild card or even potentially
No.
winning the division.
Don't go that far. No.
No? Okay.
No.
Okay.
I don't know.
Um,
Yeah, that's too tough.
I'll
I'm
tell
just
you
saying,
why.
the Steelers are leading the division right now. They're 4-0, and I don't think they're that good. They are not as good
They're
as
not.
they. I mean,
You're just mad because they clobbered the Eagles today.
Let's talk about the Steelers and Eagles.
They
Let's talk about
didn't. They didn't though. That's the
They
point.
did.
They didn't
Thank
clobber
you.
the Eagles.
Thank you.
They let the Eagles hang with them
That's
until
true.
the last second. They absolutely let the Eagles back into that game. But I'll tell you why the Browns will never be great. They're good. I'll tell you why they won't be great for maybe the next 5 years, and it's Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's
What?
good. He is not.
False,
He is
false, false.
not.
Right.
Okay.
Ever.
So tell me this.
In his
this.
career, probably
better?
never
Who's
going
better?
to reach the AFC
Who-
Championship.
Who's
game.
better, Baker Mayfield or Jimmy Garoppolo?
Baker, 100%.
I would argue Baker Mayfield.
You can't say you.
It's
There's no
the
argument.
fact that there has to
Listen,
be a debate is
I-
what I'm talking about. Jimmy
There is
G
no debate.
not a
No, that's not a
There's
debate.
no debate.
No,
Who's
there's
no
debating?
debate.
What happened last year? How did the 49ers get to the Super Bowl?
Defense.
Defense
running
and
game.
running the ball. Guess what?
Yeah.
The Browns'
You
defense
need
is
you need a
legit.
quarterback to
Myles
do that.
Garrett, Denzel Ward, they are a very legit defense. Okay?
You know, I can't believe this
They-
is so relevant, but we were before recording. We were talking about percentage of yards of quarterbacks thrown versus
no, I
yards
can't
after
believe.
catch.
Oh, I
so
see what you're
relevant.
gonna bring up.
Jimmy Garoppolo's percent of yards to his total yards thrown was 37%. Baker's was the highest at 71%.
All I'm going to talk about the eye test, right? Every single time that they face a team that is not pathetic against their run, and they're like, okay, Baker, you can beat us. Like, we've shown that, you know, Chubb and Hunt has been average, all right? Like, Baker, you beat us with your arm. Baker can't get it done.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
sorry.
wait. Can I interrupt for a second? Can I talk about what's going on right now?
Okay.
Oh, boy. Oh,
Kareem Hunt
I'm
has
not
8
watching
rushes for 16 yards,
oh,
and Baker
boy.
is 19 for 28, 228 yards, 2 touchdowns.
And who are they facing? And who
The
are they
Colts.
The
facing?
Colts, a very
Colts.
solid
Colts,
defense.
but with
Very
you know,
solid
the Colts
defense.
are out. I think
But
Darius Leonard's out.
The Colts.
think-
The Colts.
The
The
seventh.
Colts
best
are not
run
a
defense.
great defensive team, and they're missing their best player.
What are you
hold
talking
on.
about?
Let me just
They're a
finish
top
this
10.
up. Let me just.
They're top.
Without Darius
Not
Leonard, they
Not
dropped
Not
significantly.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on. You can't tell me if Baker Mayfield gets it done when they need him to.
He
Every
does.
single time.
He does. He absolutely
Okay.
does. Sometimes.
If they
I
get
think
into the
this
playoffs,
season
I'm
he
sorry,
has.
but they're not.
This
they're,
is
he's
exactly
never
the
going to
season he
reach a
has.
championship game. And it'd be a different thing if he's throwing it to Brashad Perryman and Mike Gesicki. No, he's throwing it to Jarvis Landry, OBJ, and Austin Hooper.
As
Austin
we're
Hooper?
speaking,
He's not throwing it to a
Philip
bunch
Rivers
of
just threw a pick
practice
six.
scrubs.
Philip Rivers just threw a pick six to the Browns defense.
Yeah.
I'm not
so
talking
like,
about the Browns defense.
I
Browns
love.
defense
You know
is
what?
good. The Browns
We should do
are a
this
good
more.
team, but Baker Mayfield cannot be their quarterback. They're not going to win a Super Bowl like that. They're not going to get it done. I'm
Well,
sorry.
we thought it was impossible for the 49ers to win the Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo as quarterback. They were this close, okay? If Kyle Shanahan calls some better plays, then they
No,
might
if Jimmy
win. that Super Bowl.
Garoppolo made that pass. If Jimmy
Sure.
Garoppolo made that pass.
You're right. You're right.
Yep.
You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Baker makes that pass.
although-
Exactly. So they're not going to get it done. I'm sorry. You can have the
Not-
49ers
not-
defense. You can have the 49ers run game, which I see a lot of in the Cleveland Browns. But if you can't have that guy under center that makes that throw when you need him to, you're not going to win it.
Baker
It's
makes
not
a throw.
gonna matter at
Baker
the
makes a
end of
throw.
the season.
I promise
He
you, Baker
makes
makes
Baker
a
does
throw.
not make the throw.
He
I'm
makes
sorry,
the
Baker
throw.
does not make the throw.
He
Baker
makes the
couldn't
throw.
make the throw against the Bengals. All right, the running game carried
That's
him against
different.
the Bengals, and that is a solid fact.
But that's not the Super Bowl. I think Baker makes that throw in the Super
Thank
Bowl.
God it's not the Super Bowl, because if it were against the Ravens, they would have fell flat like they did week 1. It was against the Bengals, and he couldn't get it done.
Look,
I
Baker
think-
had.
When he faces a playoff team in the AFC,
I think if that's to OBJ, I think OBJ makes that catch. I think Baker makes the throw.
no.
Well, here's why they're not going to win in the AFC is because they have to play against the Chiefs and the Ravens. It's not on
Yeah.
them. It's
No,
not
no
on
one,
them.
no one thinks
fact-
that's gonna happen.
It's
They're
not on
a
them.
great, other than the quarterback, they are a fantastic team. All right? If they had Tannehill, we'd be probably looking at them maybe winning the division.
No,
They have
I
Baker
think-
Mayfield.
The
Baker Mayfield
difference
is
between
an
Mayfield and
average
Tannehill
quarterback.
is not that big. You do realize that, right?
Exactly.
I think it is big. I think Baker's
Mayfield
much
has to
better.
step it up.
I think Baker's much better.
Whoa,
I
Much
think
better.
he is.
Then Tannehill.
I don't know about
Yes.
much better, but he's better.
Yes.
Yeah, let's say
Baker
better.
Mayfield
He's
is
better.
average. The Browns are not winning a Super Bowl with him under center. And it sucks because they're wasting a great defense and a great running game.
Quarterback, too.
And a great wide receiver room and a great tight end.
Okay, let's see.
We'll see.
Give it,
We'll
I
see.
give it 3
We'll
years.
see.
I give it 3 years. If they don't,
It's
if
like-
they don't make it
it's
to a
like-
championship game,
Give it 5. Give it 5.
It's
Fine.
like
Fine.
putting
Give it
LeBron
5.
James on
Fine.
the Timberwolves. You are wasting LeBron James with, I don't even know, Wiggins? No, they don't even have Wiggins anymore. It's like putting it's like putting LeBron James on the Cavaliers. It's horrible. It's hard to watch, really.
And guess what? They won a chip.
LeBron
Case
James
closed.
is the
closed.
rest of the
Case
Cleveland
closed.
Browns
Case
team.
closed. Next.
LeBron-
They're both from
Yeah,
Cleveland.
okay.
They're both from Cleveland.
Akron, Ohio. LeBron James is the rest of the Cleveland Browns. J.R. Smith is Baker Mayfield. That's what I'm gonna leave you with. That's what I'm leaving you with. I'm sorry.
Oh my
When it matters, Baker Mayfield can't get it done. You'll see. I'll send in the chat right now. I'll save the receipts. I don't care. Okay.
And with that, I think we're going to finish up for the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. You can follow us on Twitter at TradeBlock Sport. You can check us out on Instagram at TradeBlock Podcast. And you can check us out on YouTube because the videos just make the experience 100 times better.
You get to see Riley flail his arms whenever we make fun of his stuff on camera.
This is accurate. But thanks so much for listening, and check us out next week.